All right, we're going to continue working with our whole numbers. We have added and subtracted, and now we're going to multiply. And the vocabulary that we need, the numbers that we multiply together are called factors, and the result of a multiplication is called a product. So the product of factors is the answer to a multiplication problem. And the book mentions that multiplication can be thought of as rectangular arrays. Each of the following corresponds to the multiplication of 3 times 5. So if you have 3 rows of 5 each, that's 3 times 5, which is 15. Or you can say that you have 5 columns of 3 each. That's still 3 times 5, which is 15. So that just helps visualize a little bit about multiplication. I know that you are familiar with multiplication. You've used it a lot. We're going to do it without our calculator. So multiplication facts, critical. All right, I have 73 times 8. I like to put the larger of the two numbers on top and the smaller on the bottom, but that is not a rule. It's just what I like to do. Now I'm going to multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. Write down the 4 and carry the 2. 8 times 7 is 56. 2 more makes 58. My product is 584. Let's look at the next one, which is 69 times 49. So I have 9 times 9, which is 81, carry the 8. 9 times 6 is 54, plus 8 is 62. When it's time to multiply by the 4, although a lot of people don't write it down, the 4 is really 40. It's in the tens place. So whatever I get, it is times 40, not 4. So I'm going to put a 0 as kind of a placeholder, which tells me everything is multiplied by 40, not by 4. You can just leave that spot blank. Some people put an X there. I'm going to put in a dotted 0. 4 times 9 is 36, carry the 3, and 4 times 6 is 24, and 3 more is 27. Line them up. They have lined up nicely. So I have 1 and 0 is 1, 2 and 6 is 8, 6 and 7 is 13, carry the 1, and that gives me 3,381. When you do this, you have to know your multiplication facts. If you have struggled with that, then it's something you're going to want to continue to work on. And you may not need it, but if this is an area of struggle for you, I recommend that you go ahead and get a multiplication chart or work with flashcards. All right, let's look at number 3. I have 137 times 36. I start with the 6. 6 times 7 is 42. Carry the 4. 6 times 3 is 18, and 4 more makes 22. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, and 2 more is 8. 822, but that's just for the 6. Now I'm going to move on to the 3, which is in the tens place. So it's really like multiplying by 30. I've got my 0 taken care of. 3 times 7 is 21. Carry the 2. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is, 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. So now let's add. And I get 2, 3, 9, 4. So I have 4,932 is the product of those two factors. All right, number 4. Numbers are getting a little larger. I have 623 and I'm multiplying by 133. All right, 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. I'm going to put in a 0. I didn't dot it this time. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is still 18. This time, because I'm multiplying by something in the hundreds place, I put 2 zeros or 2 placeholders. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 6 is 6. And I'm going to add all these. I get 9. 6 plus 9 is 15. Carry the 1. 1 and 8 is 9. Plus 6 is 15. Plus 3 is 18. Carry the 1. 1 and 1 is 2. Plus 8 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. And carry the 1. 1 and 1 is 2. Plus 6 is 8. That answer is 82,859. And I believe Math Lab will tell you to go ahead, since the number is so large, to include the comma. Well, I can't really double check, but read your instructions, and if it says to include the comma, then do so. And I think maybe it does in this lesson. All right, let's look at our last one. I have 6,009 times 6,009. All right, I have 9 times 9 is 81. Write down the 1, carry the 8. 9 times 0 is 0, plus 8 is 8. 9 times 0 is 0, and 9 times 6 is 54. Now, if I want to, I can multiply all these by 0, but I could just put the 0 placeholder that takes care of the tens. Then, I could just put the placeholder that takes care of the hundreds. And I am ready now to multiply by thousands, and it needs one more placeholder. So I could do that. I indent one place for the tens, one for the hundreds, one for the thousands, and so here I am. 6 times 9 is 54. Carry the 5. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. 6 times this 0 is 0, and 6 times 6 is 36. Adding, that's a 1, an 8, 0, 8. 5 and 5 is 10. Write down the 0, carry the 1, 1, 6, and 3. Put in my commas. That's 36,108,081. Now, if it confused you with the way I added those zeros, I could show you how you could show all of your steps. Right, and that's 81. That's 0 plus 8 is 8. 0, 54. When you multiply by, you have to put in a placeholder 0. 0 times 9 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 6 is 0. Put in 2 placeholders, and I'm right here. 0 times 9 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 6 is 0. Put in now 3 placeholders. 6 times 9 is 54. Carry the 5. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. 6 times this 0 is 0, and 6 times 6 is 36. So now I have a 1, an 8, a 0, an 8. 5 and 5 is 10, carry the 1, and 6 and 3. And you can see that I got the same answer without actually multiplying by the zeros up here. So a placeholder as I went for this position, a placeholder as I went for this position, and a placeholder as I went to the 6. Okay, so you can do it with or without actually multiplying by those zeros. So just be careful, make sure you're lining things up. Neatness helps a lot.